Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. I wanted to talk about a topic that is quite timely at the moment, where we're all struggling to somehow get through this pandemic, this crisis fatigue, and that's the topic of depression. Yeah, it is generally speaking an important topic, but even more so right now, where we're really all globally going through this very difficult situation. And those of us who already suffer from anxiety or increased stress or depression have a much harder time at dealing with this pandemic. So a question I get asked quite a lot is whether or not Feng Shui can actually help with depression. Now, while Feng Shui cannot cure depression completely, it is definitely a tool that you can use as a complementary therapeutic approach when you're being treated for depression, because it's all about the kind of energies you're exposing yourself to. And if you're suffering from depression, usually what happens is that you have lost faith in the process. Yeah, you don't really see a way forward. You don't really see any option or any bright future ahead of you. And so this is definitely something that Feng Shui can assist with. Again, it cannot cure depression completely. It cannot be the only approach that you're taking, but it is a supportive tool. So what we usually do when we are dealing with a client who suffers from depression, the first thing we clarify is how severe the depression actually is. Is it a depression where you are at risk of self-harming or even suicide? Do you have suicidal thoughts or not? If that is the case, then we will obviously need a much stronger approach. We need energies that bring you back to life, so to speak. Whereas if it's just like a low level sort of anxiety and fear of the future, paralyzing and repeating thoughts, that is a different thing. So in Feng Shui, this is the first thing we clarify. And then obviously we then have a look at your home and see where you spend most time in. The sector you spend most time in determines how you feel internally. Yeah, you know this yourself. In certain areas of your home, you feel better than in others. And so when it comes to depression, we need you to spend as much time as possible in a room that has energies that promote vision and faith and hopes. Yeah, it gives you back hope that there is something better out there. This year in particular, it is the West sector that gives you this brighter outlook for the future, or that gives you your vision back, or the hope, the faith that things can get better. So if you are currently suffering from depression, or if you are just generally struggling with anxiety and stress, and you're often in panic mode because you're not really seeing clearly where you're going, or how you could ever get out of this current funk that we're all experiencing, but that may be a little bit more closer to home for you, then use the West sector as much as possible. We've got an energy there that gives you life, gives you hope, that brings vision and happiness. Now, I'm not talking about, happiness in the sense that you're suddenly going to jump on the table and dance and whatever, but it will motivate you to take one small step at a time to create a better future for yourself. So ideally, you sleep in the West, or you work in the West sector. Now, how do you determine the West sector? Stand in the middle of your apartment. It doesn't matter whether it's big or small, doesn't matter at all. Just stand in the middle of your apartment and then just take out a compass. It could be as simple as a mobile phone app, and check where the West is. And even if that's just a small corner of your home, try to spend at least an hour a day there. Yeah, if it's not a place where you can sleep, if it's not a place where you can do work, maybe you just sit there and meditate. Or maybe you just sit there for an hour a day and read a book. Do something that makes you actually be present and expose yourself to these energies for at least an hour a day. And over time, this will help you feel better about yourself and also about the future. Yeah, so this is especially important this year. So try to do this, try to take advantage of this additional tool that can help you deal with the current situation a little bit better. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. There are other ways as well that Feng Shui can help with depression and anxiety, but this is then very, very specific to the person. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and provide some help. So my contact details are down below in the notes.